Caltrop is an area denial weapon designed to stop the enemy. The Caltrop is a sturdy, simple, yet effective weapon no matter its position. Its purpose was originally designed to stop elephant and donkey attacks. It graduated to stopping tanks. And now, the Caltrop is your defense against propaganda, polished lies, and manufactured outrage. It's free from counterfeit credibility and synthetic truth. However, inside the walls of the Caltrop, you're going to be forced to think. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Mike Calderese is the Caltrop.
Welcome, everybody, to the Caltrop. Good evening and welcome. And oh, man, listen, I don't know about you guys. You see this stuff over and over. Like, I know you've been seeing it all day long. And it's tough to kind of get away from this story. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to tell you what I witnessed last night. I was at one of the Charlie Kirk vigils. And there's a lot to this. There's a lot of dynamics that are actually in play here that I want to look past just his death. As far as what's it going to do politically down ballot? Right? Do you think it's going to how much do you really think this is going to help the Republicans? If you ask me what I saw last night, I'll get to it. Let's just put it that way. We also have a situation I'm going to get to in the Mike's Right segment. I'm really going to cover two situations. And we're going to expand off of these two ideas. One is going to be the concept of we, and the other one's going to be the concept of false prophets. A lot of people are thinking, did I spell that wrong today? False prophet? I know it's supposed to be P-H-E-T, right? But I think both are going on. So I did that for a reason. Because what I'm seeing some very, very, very wonderful things with some very, very, very frightening things. And it's directly referring to, I'm going to relate this to what happened last night when I went to the Charlie Kirk vigil. This was one of the biggest vigils in the East Coast, they said, if not the biggest. There was thousands of people there. We're going to get to that. But first, let's get to the Mike's Right. Shut up and listen. You know a word I'm starting to hate more than any four-letter word that we have? And that's we. Not we the people, or we are all in this together. Now, I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about the lazy bullshit, the lazy we. The one that gets thrown around every single time some lunatic, evil bastard goes off and goes evil. Phrases like, we need to be better, or we have to look at ourselves as a country, or we are the problem. It's like, excuse me, we? Don't bring me into this shit. Don't bring me into your dumbass therapy session because some maniac snapped. I wasn't in the room. I wasn't holding the weapon, and I sure as hell wasn't cheering it on like some people are. But there's a lot of people using we. Do not tell me we anymore when you really mean him. Or maybe his little group of deranged, radicalized lunatics, but that's not we either. That's they. I know he was dating a they or a we or whatever we're going to call it, but that is they. That's a big difference. But we do this kind of all the time, don't we? One guy loses his mind and suddenly CNN's out there preaching like it's a Sermon on the Mount. Oh, we are a broken nation. We must heal. No, shut up. Stop acting like Jeffrey Dahmer was part of the fucking PTA. One maniac does not define America. You know who defines America? I'll tell you. It's what I saw at the vigil last night for Charlie Kirk. That's the we that I recognize. Thousands of regular people showing up with love, showing up with respect, showing up with grief, and yes, with a lot of prayer. That's the America I know. That's the we that I know and that I understand we to mean. But then, of course, amongst the we, there's this, and it's the part that pissed me off. There comes the vultures, the fakers, the frauds, the organizers. Suddenly, every wannabe influencer with a mic is up on stage looking at it 4,000 people. And what do they say in front of these people? I am Charlie. I am Charlie Kirk. Really? You're Charlie? No, the hell you're not. Don't insult us or him. You didn't live like him. You didn't fight like him. You didn't stand like him. You didn't post a single thing like him while he was alive. But now that he's dead, suddenly you're the second coming of Kirk? Fuck out of here. You're not Charlie. You're a con artist with a microphone and a badge. And I'm going to get to what I mean in a little bit if you don't know where I'm going. And here's where it gets to me even darker. We have merch. We have t-shirts. We have everything. T-shirts, stickers, and more. People cashing in off of a dead man like they're running the clearance rack at Target. But let's be real. How much of that money is really going to his family? I bet very little. How much is actually helping the cause that he stood for? Probably not a lot. Because most of it is going into the pockets of opportunists and not where it's supposed to be, maybe to help his family out. See, that's what kills me. We've got a culture that turns strategy into branding, that takes grief and runs it through a t-shirt press, and people eat it up. We have false prophets making false profits, and that's where we are. And we have people selling real estate in heaven. And to me, here's the danger, guys. If you let these people latch on to Charlie's name, if you let them become Charlie in the public eye, then they can destroy his legacy. Because when that faker finally shows you who they really are, spoiler, it won't be Charlie-like. It drags Charlie down too with him, doesn't it? Suddenly, it's not Charlie Kirk's memory we're honoring. It's the cheap, knockoff, counterfeit version of Charlie. So here's my message to everybody. Be careful. Be careful who you claim in Charlie's name. Be careful who you let ride on his coattails. Because the real we, the people, showed up out of love, showed up out of respect, showed up not out of profit. That's who he belongs to. That's America. That's the we that I stand with. But don't ever dare tell me that we are broken because of one sick man. And don't tell me that we are the problem. No, we aren't the problem. The problem is those who confuse grief with clout chasing. The problem is frauds trying to cosplay as prophets. And the problem is that every time a tragedy happens, the scavengers circle like it's roadkill on a highway. So no, not we, not all of us, not America. The only we I'll claim is the one that showed up with love in their hearts, not dollar signs in their eyes. And if you're out there saying, I am Charlie, while passing the donation bucket with your Venmo handle on it, you're not Charlie. You're a jackass. And that's Mike's right. Hope you listen. All right, guys, listen, as you can tell, I'm a little bothered by this, and I'm gonna go back to everything. I'm gonna get into the chat. I'm gonna rely on you guys as well, because I need you guys in the chat. I need your help today, because I can't really think of anything else. The things that I'm seeing are bothering me. They're bothering me. Let me do this. Let me address, I know my Rumble chat's out there. It's the one that I do have up running, so that's the one I could get to right now. I'm going to try to catch everybody else. Of course, we have Yankee 68 number. Actually, no, it's Johnny 69. Let's fucking go Yankee 68, Jersey A, Boondock Guy. Love you guys. A Goon, my man, A Goon. Coach Patterson, yo. Coach Patterson, love you guys. A Calderius, my brother, PT Pod. PT Pod is on a mecca to comedy. He's kicking his ass, kicking ass out there, doing his comedy shows. Mama Dukes, Jay Calda, love every single one of you guys. Let's go. Do me a favor. I'm going to rely heavily on you guys on this. And honestly, we may not go an hour, because I'm trying to wrap my brain around this, and I think I need your help. I really think I need your help. So let me first do this. Let me explain to you what I went through yesterday. So I get to the Charlie Kirk. I get to the Charlie Kirk visual, and I have nothing in the thing. This is going to be me talking the entire time. And one thing you've noticed where it's at, a lot of people, you don't know my area or whatever it is, but I'm going to give you an event that usually draws a lot of traffic. It's something we call it Summerfest. Summerfest, great time. A lot of people, they funnel everybody in there. When I started driving up to this, the line of cars that was already backed up traffic-wise was incredible. The people I think that tried to set this up last minute, I don't think they expected the response that they got, and they got a gigantic response. This is Brick, New Jersey. There was people parked everywhere. I had to park a mile and a half away, about in some neighborhood in this guy's front yard. Like I legit had to park like I was going to a concert. It was amazing the kind of response that this generated. And then I walked my ass up there. I get up there, and this happened last minute. I've been working a lot. So when I finally put this together, I didn't realize who was actually running it until I got up there and I saw it. Now, one of the guys that's running it, I'll get to that in a second. When I get up to where they were at, the amount of people with the amount of candles, and they had speakers, and it was very well done. I'm going to say this really quick. This happened in my town. The Democrat mayor and the Democrat and the business administrator, apparently they give a little bit of pushback from permitting issues and stuff like that, but they ultimately let this go on and then attended it. Not only that, they provided a PA system for this event as well, because I guess everyone realized that this was going to be bigger than they thought. But to their credit, they responded and they allowed it to happen, and they showed up for it, which ended up being a political sermon. We're going to get to that when we get to the people that were running it. So they showed an incredible amount of grace. I want to give the Mayor Crate of Bricktown. I've knocked her on the show, and I want to give Joanne Bergen, the business administrator. That could not have been easy to deal with. That could not have been easy to go through. And I told Joanne I leave her name out of it, but I'm giving her a lot of praise. The way they handled this, I think, is an example of how other mayors and other people should be handling this situation with grace, with care. Okay, I don't agree with you, and I know you guys are going to be bashing on the left potentially, but we're going to let you do it anyway. And not only that, we're going to help you. And I think that was a great example of what everybody needs. Everyone needs to calm it down, tone it the fuck down. Because you see a lot of people at these things, and the amount of love, it's awesome. So let me get to this. Then I really find out who's running this. I don't know the one guy running it, so I'm not going to comment on him. I will say I'm a pretty decent judge of people. What I was seeing, I wasn't loving, but if you take a look at me, maybe you'll have that impression as well. The other person I know from personal experience with this guy, and I'm going to tell you everything without naming any names or any of that stuff. I don't need any other fucking assholes saying I'm harassing them by bringing their name up. So this particular gentleman runs a very large page in New Jersey, a news page in New Jersey. About a year ago, there was a really poor situation where in my town, it was like a middle school kid that had committed suicide. Well, on that page, the guy immediately tried jumping on top of that suicide, and he put out an article that lambasted the Bricktown teachers. And when I tell you lambast, I'm talking about how they allow bullying, and they got this kid killed, and a lot of really disgusting stuff. So I got on his page and I blasted him. Now, this guy is supposedly a conservative, pushing their conservative cause, pushing the Charlie Kirk cause. He's one of the people that got up there and said, I am Charlie Kirk. I am Charlie Kirk. He declared it in front of 4,000 people. So when I called him out on this page, said, why are you trying to do this? Why are you trying to take advantage of a dead kid? Why are you trying to do that? You're trying to get likes. You're trying to get people to join your page by being on top of this, and you're spreading rumor. And what you're doing is you're trying to generate conversation. I get it. But you're doing this off of a dead kid. So it went back. It got pretty belligerent on his side, on his page. Then this uber conservative, what does he do? He goes ahead and blocks me. So he blocks me from commenting on the page, and then all my comments were gone. So, okay, cool. So I send them an email, basically, and it wasn't nice. At this point, I'm pissed off, right? And some of the things that you said I'm already kind of fired up. So I fired an email off of that, challenging him to come on the show like I'm going to be, like I do everybody, and he could still come on the show if he wants. Come on the show, and let's talk about why you're a conservative that wants to ban people from being on their page. So his answer to me was, and this is not exact, but it was right where what I remember. And it was along these lines. It was, I will come on your show for $1,000, but I have to stop fucking your wife first. Yeah, you didn't know I fuck your wife on the weekends. That's what this Charlie-like individual, who was the main guy that was there that night, said to me in email form. So when you throw ignorance like that back at me, I could throw as much ignorance, and I threw a lot of ignorance back at him. I could say some shit myself, but it was just very funny that was the response you get when I was saying, yo, bro, this is not cool, trying to capitalize off of dead kids. And then what did I see there yesterday? I saw a false prophet standing on stage, getting people to cheer for him for his message, to where he doesn't live his own message. These people, they don't live the way Charlie lived. Charlie didn't drink, apparently. He didn't smoke weed. Apparently, he was fucking Jesus, because he didn't even yell at his wife. He never got crass with her. He never got mad at the children. I mean, this dude was like, unbelievable. And that's great. I hope I'm talked about as nice in my death. I doubt that. I've gotten pissed off. I've gotten pissed. But these people are not living like him, and they're up there, and they have gotten a motivated crowd. A motivated crowd that's there for all the right reasons. But the people leading them are there for all the wrong reasons. They're there for their own situation. A lot of them talked about themselves. Now, I'm not going to bash every speaker. There were several speakers there that really did a great job. I'm trying to get one of them on. Andrea, Alexandra, she is on Newsmax. She's on Fox News a lot. She's like the Maha Moms of New Jersey, Moms for Liberty. She runs a lot of different groups. She did a great job. The guy from Brick did a great job for the Brick Republican Party. Mark did a great job. But those people had people cheering. And it bothers me when I see that type of stuff, because like when I said in the Mike's Right, when they latch on to that and then those people fail them, they're the ones that led them they were cheering. It's kind of like an impressionist. They're doing an impression of Charlie Kirk. And when you do an impression, I heard impressionists say this, you steal the passion and the love that person has for another person. You're able to steal that. You're able to capture that. They're doing an impression of him. And they don't live by it. And if that happened in Bricktown, New Jersey, what are the chances that I'm the only one that had a person that has questionable backgrounds based on what he said to me? That's all I know. You say that to me, that's your immediate response to me is fuck your wife? You bring my wife into this conversation over a dead kid? If that's your response, I don't think you're a good human being. So do you think I'm the only one that has gone through this? Do we think we're the only ones that have ever been through this type of thing? I don't think so. I see a lot of false profiteering going on. I'm seeing t-shirts. The I am Charlie Kirk is weird as fuck. If you think I'm different, please put it in chat. I'm going to get to you in a minute. Mama Duke says, oh my God. I don't know what that was about. Am I still on? Rumble has issues? I guess I don't know. We can just jump to the truth. Israel did it. Israel did it all. Boondock guy says, I don't know if that's the truth yet. I'm not even worried about that, Boondock. I'm not trying to figure out that out anymore. What I'm trying to work out in my mind is what's going to happen here. The one question that you see over and over and over and over and over again is, what do we do here? What do we do next? What happens now? I don't know, but I tell you really quick, if what happens is these guys become front and center, I think they're going to make his movement look like shit. Everyone's talking about, oh, they got 15,000 chapter requests, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know, in that 15,000, there's going to be a lot of assholes. So I hope somebody's going through them with a fine-tooth comb. Because, you know, what I saw last night was amazing and terrifying. And I'll tell you the terrifying part again, besides those people. It was like a religious political sermon. I've been to church. That was church. We were at almost political church. That shit's fucking scary. I don't know how you feel about it. I don't know why. I'm going to be honest with everybody. And there's a couple times throughout this Charlie Kirk story that my body has given me very weird feelings about it all. I listen to my body. My body knows. My instincts know. They've been wrong maybe a percentage of times. Maybe 1%. I'm 99% accurate. To the point where if I shake your hand, I know immediately if you're a piece of shit or not. I don't know why, but I'm feeling disgusting. I feel disgusting about some of this stuff. If you notice, I haven't posted any of my clips on this whole Charlie Kirk stuff. Because the reason being is I don't want to make my name off of his death. It's not who I am. My parents raised me a hell of a lot fucking better than that. You're not going to see Charlie Kirk shirts. You're not going to see any of that shit with me. Matter of fact, I wanted to cut this off early because I can't even honestly think about anything else. You're not going to see that. I didn't post clips because I felt the clips were disgusting. What am I doing? What am I doing? Trying to get likes and trying to get views with a man shot? I can't do that. But here we go. We have that happen, and we have more T-shirts than you even know what to do with. I am Charlie Kirk. No, the fuck I'm not. I didn't live like him. I'm not preaching what he did. I'm not Charlie Kirk. I don't even know what that means. I'm Michael Calderes. I'm an American. Is that what you mean? If that's what you mean by that, where Charlie Kirk represents like Americans, okay, I could get with that. I don't think that's what they mean. But there's something else to this entire thing, and it's the political end of it, because I have to. You guys know that the way my brain works. Who's going to benefit from this? I've asked that question last week, and I asked that question on Friday. Who benefits from this? And yesterday proved my hypothesis that the Republicans are going to benefit off of this. And I think it's going to be a major, major benefit. I think nationwide, you're going to see kids vote for Charlie Kirk in a big way if it doesn't vanish in a month. So these upcoming November elections, this happened at a great time for Republicans because it's going to be fresh and people are going to be motivated. I think I walked up to the Brick Republicans last night and I said, "You guys just won." You know, they didn't answer me. They didn't want to, say anything. You see, they kind of put their heads down, which the response I was honestly hoping for out of them. But this might actually flip New Jersey. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine if this has that big of a reverberation? And I've been asking this question. Put this in the chat, and I promise I'll get to you. I didn't think I was going to be ripping on about this for so long. If we didn't see it in 1080p, if you just heard, hey, Charlie Kirk died, and we didn't see it, do you think it would have this big of a reaction? Do you think we would have all of this going on? Do you think we would have the vigils going on? You know, the vigils are another. Do me a favor, answer that in the chat right after you finger my like button. And don't make it gross, okay? These are don't make it gross. Just finger. Just a tip. He loves the tip of your finger. So yeah, I think that the right's going to win from this. Going away. They have to. They have to win from this. But you guys know my mission. My mission in all of this is to expose fake. It's to bring you what I think is really going on and to expose what I think is the fake thing that's taking place. And I think what we see a lot of the times in our politics, it's the same thing of what I witnessed that day. And that's the thing I think that we have to get to, because there's something else that's taking place, and it's something that's boiling up. So our politics have gotten people to where now that was religion that I witnessed. And when you have that type of religion, religions go to war. And I don't know about you, and I'm going to, here's the truth. I mean, it's great because I'd rather see people holding candles than burning buildings. Let's just stop there. But what you're hearing people that are honestly saying, I want blood. How much more are we going to tolerate? There's that we again. How much more are we going to tolerate? You have people that are legit really fired up over this, insanely mad over this. And they're turning and they're merging into this weird political religion monster. And they're taking that Christianity and they merge it into the political party. And that's what's going to be oozing on the other side. And listen, as much as I appreciated what Charlie Kirk did, you guys know I loathe religion and government being anywhere near each other. Anywhere fucking near each other. It cannot happen. And we've already had this conversation. But it's a boiling point. I think we're at a boiling point. I think what you're seeing with a lot of people is they've had enough. I really think they've had enough of being. And this is what I think people resonated with Charlie so much, because I think it was building up and he just happened to catch this ride at the right time. And it's amazing what that man's done in 31 years. It really is. But this is boiled up and it's boiled up and it's boiled up. And what you're seeing is a lot of people that are fed up of being called a name. You're seeing a lot of people that are fed up of being lied to. And I think Charlie represented the truth, because the way he argued and the way he debated, it was very factual. I think he represented what they wanted to be, what they saw in something good. And he was taken out. And I don't know, man. I don't know where we go from here besides the fighting. The people that want blood. There's someone on this side that's going to retaliate. And then it's going to drag it down into us versus them. They're going to dig into their political religion, and we're going to dig into our political religion even more. You know, that's why I brought up the mayor of Brick at that point, because I think what she did is an example of how about we just fucking stop for a second? How about we all just take a breath? How about we all just lower the temperature? How about we stop? Even J.D. Vance today was talking about far left extremists. I mean, can we stop that shit? How about that's the problem? How about we stop with the bullshit of taking the one person and assigning this fucking asshole to all these groups? Now, I want to find out who got this guy radicalized, but how about he's the fucking crazy one? How about we have to stop crazy motherfuckers if we possibly can? Stop putting him on the left. Stop putting him on the right. On both sides. We wonder why we have this violence. And you know what? When J.D. Vance comes out and does that, it gives credence to the left of saying, look, you're stoking political violence. How am I supposed to say the left is wrong when they say it, calling me a far-right extremist, but when JD Vance does it, that's cool because he's on my team? How about all of us stop that? We have got to fight back against crazy. How about wherever side you lean on, you're just a fucking maniac. You're crazy. You took the short bus to school. You're out of your shit. We used to take those people, put them in the trailer behind the school. They used to go to school by themselves, away from the real people. That was a George Carlin joke. But it's the truth. He was way before his time. How about we just start calling people what it is? They're the crazy ones. I don't think that kid represents all leftists. And if that's really what you're doing and that's really what you portray, I think you're I don't even think he represents all radical leftists. Because if there's as many as they say, there'd be a hell of a lot more killing. There'd be a hell of a lot more danger. And there's not. So this shit that I am watching on both of these sides, I'm going to give you another example. The right in New Jersey is upset that Bill Spadea is actively working against Jack Ciattarelli. They're actively mad for this. Oh, what type of team player is Spadea? He should be on Jack's side, blah, 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 blah. Jack spent 6 months motherfucking Spadea up and down, left and right. Every news thing that every ad that he put out was just Spadea robbed grand people. Spadea did this. Spadea did that. Spadea is an asshole. Spadea is everything about this guy. He's not really MAGA. He's really pro-immigration. And they were nothing but smear and disgusting attack ads, Republican versus Republican. And then Spadea goes back to his radio gig, and lo and behold, he goes, "Fuck you, Ciattarelli. I'm not." At least Mikey Sherrill has a plan. And what do we expect? What do we expect? You went scorched earth on this guy. You went scorched earth on him. Do you really expect him just to turn around and hug you? If he did that, I would take him as another piece of shit politician. Because that's what piece of shit politicians do. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, man. You got me. You motherfucked me. You called me a goat fucker. But it's okay. I forgive you now because you won. Bullshit. You start lobbing names like that at me, I'm coming out with you at vitriol and fire and hell and everything, brimstone. I'm not going to be cool with you all of a sudden, but this is our politics. We have the left politics, we have the right politics, and it's nothing but disgusting hate. Spew hate here, spew hate there, hate the other side, hate, 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 hate. I feel like I'm watching The Grinch. Hate, 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 hate. Oh, loathe entirely. This is where we're at. And yes, this is where we're at. Because this is how society responds. This is what happens. Boondock guy say, is Public going to make crusade cake? I hope so. Coach Patterson says, Holy War, quote me, please. Holy War. Mama Dukes, power typing goes, oh my God, hey Boondock, oh my God, about your wife, that guy is disgusting. Love you, Mike. Okay, yeah, that guy is disgusting. Tension span is not carrying till November, in my opinion, Coach Patterson says. Dude, you know what? I didn't think it was going to carry into this week, and it has. I mean, this is all Charlie all the time. And I've never seen, Patterson, I've never seen the response that I got last night. That I saw. Now, listen, Jake Halda and Mama Dukes, you lived in Brick. Put it in the chat. Have you ever seen anything political in Brick elicit 4,000 people with cars backed up to Route 70 and people turning around because they knew they weren't even going to get there? They would have, if they opened it up really like Summerfest, they could have had 6,000-7,000 people there easy. And I don't think I've ever seen that, Patterson. That was the amazing thing about this. The motivation that this is brought out by people And it was young, old. It was all genres. I mean, there looking at them, it looked like people that I would typically associate with the Democrat Party that were there as well. This is crossing for some reason, man. I don't know if we knew how influential this person really was, and I think we're learning it, especially in the manner in which he died. He wasn't a political figure. If he was in politics and he was the president, I think it'd be bad. But I don't know if this is just a guy that was looking for open discussion. That's the part that's interesting. Jay Caldas says, Icy Hot doesn't work. I've used it. Have something better. That's called lidocaine. And Holy War. I guess we could talk about a Holy War right now. I do see the Holy Wars. And I said on the show that shall not be named, my last show, that we seem like we're watching the Bible unfold right before our eyes. I feel like when you look at Israel and Gaza, it's the Israelis versus the Palestinians. I go back to Catholic school, so in my head, I hear the Israelites versus the Philistines. Seems like the same fucking group of people. I mean, they've been fighting forever. But it seems like right now we're reliving the Bible and we're watching the Bible. And I have a feeling 40, 50 years from now, we're going to be seeing the Bibles of the different religions clashing in America. I see that. If we don't start protecting the non-religious, we have to protect the non-religious in this country. And listen, whether you choose to be religious or not, if you're not part of a group, you're going to need protection. I'll tell you why. Because these groups, like the Muslims, like the Jews, like the Christians, and what I saw, what you're seeing across the country, you're seeing that Republican Christian fusion, right? Where it's always been there, but now it was, like I said, I watched a political sermon last night, so I have a very weird perspective right now. And it's, I'm really talking my thoughts through it with you guys. But when you have that type of thing, you're going to have the Christians eventually pushing in their direction. You're going to have the Jews pushing in their direction. You're going to have the Muslims pushing in their direction. And you're going to have what's going on all around the world taking place on our streets. They're going to be taking place amongst we, the people. And then, I asked my Jewish customer this. If let's just say for the sake of argument, one religion like the Muslims gets 200 seats in Congress and a Muslim president, is everybody non-religious going to be okay with elements of Sharia law being dictated federally through everybody else? When I talk about states' rights, the more you can get away from one-size-fits-all government, the more rights, the more liberty, the more freedom that you actually have, the original way that this country was founded. But we have to think about that, because remember, I always say this, whether you're only cool with religion and government when your religion is in control. And you're seeing that. And the good thing is, it seems like the Jewish people are also on the right. It's what's in my area, at least that's what it is. But this seems like this is where we're going. It seems like, I wouldn't say holy war. I don't know if it's holy war. I think we've been fighting many holy wars forever. But I do believe we are going to have some type of religious clash in this country based off of what I'm witnessing. And I'm not sure, maybe it's the right way, but I'm not sure fighting religion with other religion has ever been successful. The God's honest truth, the only thing that is ever successful when you have religions going against religions is one religion completely wiping out the other. I'm not advocating for that type of thing to happen. But if you just think logically about what's the end result that's going to actually elicit the behavior that we want? Well, one group has to win, and they have to win outright, and they have to destroy every single one of the other people. Otherwise, that group of people that you leave behind are going to hate you forever. And when they get to the point where they're big enough to where they can hate you and attack you, they're going to do it. And if they win and leave anybody else alive, then the vicious cycle is going to go over and over and over and over and over again. And I fear that that's what we are witnessing, that we are on the brink of seeing some type of potential religious, I wouldn't say war, but religious clash in this country. I think everybody got away from the idea that we are a melting pot. And you have situations where in Muslim areas, they're walking into restaurants, they're walking into stores that sell alcohol and basically trying to threaten people not to sell this stuff anymore because it's against Muslims. You don't see assimilation, you see forced behavior. And that's something that we all have better figure out before we pick sides, before we start following false idols. Because one woman said it very clearly, and I can't agree with her more. Her name's Jess. She said, well, she didn't see Christianity in that. She saw the devil at work. And whether you believe that or not, you know, I'm debating in my head whether I agree totally, but it was a good point. You know, if you were the devil, what would you do? You would get a lot of people emotional. You would get a leader up there that could, or a person up on the stage that could tap into that emotion, get them all riled up, and then lead them into a worse place. And that's what I don't want to see take place here. And I think I'm seeing it. Let's see. Boondock. Actually, Coach Patterson said, I would say 35 to 40% of each side, mostly young people, are into politics for the drama and chaos. They're like the enforcers of the NHL hockey team. No real skills. They are just there to fight. PT Pod says the Bolshevik Revolution was successful till it starved out 10 million people. Yeah. Jay Calda. The Inquisition was successful. Also doesn't mean it is right. Don't forget which trials were based on religion. Listen, I'm not saying things weren't successful. Boondock says false. The Crusades were pretty successful. Were they? They're still fighting the fucking Crusades. The same people are fighting. There's just no Christians in that area. So what did the Crusades win? What did the Christians win throughout all those Crusades? Have they taken Israel? Are they part of the Middle East? What did they get for it? That's the point I'm trying to say. I don't think that we have learned a damn thing in 2,000 years. And I don't understand how picking sides and doing this is good. It makes any fucking sense. It's war based on beliefs. It's a holy war. If it's a war based on beliefs, Coach Patterson says it's a holy war. Oh man, you know what? But when I say politics is religion, it's because it's all belief. And belief is so convoluted. It's hard, honestly, to rectify with real thought. Because again, you have two people, you have two sides. You have the side that says Charlie Kirk is a hero and he's a martyr and he doesn't even yell at his wife. Then the other side that truly believes that Charlie Kirk is evil. But who's right? Who's wrong? Am I going to tell somebody that their belief is completely wrong? Yeah, I can. But I have to bring them more than just belief. Like, who's right and who's wrong in this? Well, I say this all the time to everybody. What is good and what is bad? What's good to me is bad to another and vice versa. It's almost like the word's the exact same thing because it can mean whatever I want it to mean. If it's that subjective, where something is good to me and bad to somebody else based on some type of different morals or some type of different character or religion, everything's a war then. Politics is a war. That's all. Politics is just belief. What else is it? We believe that the person I vote for is going to elicit change. And then we believe wrong every single time we do it. But no matter what you're doing, every single vote is just saying, I believe in this person. Bink. I believe in that person. Bink. You don't know because half the time you don't even know who the hell that person is. You believe he's going to do the job because he's got the little D under his name or he's got the little R under his name, even though that they have never done their jobs, no matter what letter they have in front of their names. I can't say never. There's some people that did it. Boondock says, one, land back that was Christian prior to Islamic occupation. Humans are going to cross boundaries as history has already presented. There's always going to be a side to choose, and it's your choice. There's always going to be a side to choose. So yes, this is my point. And thank you for saying it exactly like that, Boone. There's always going to be a side to choose. What if the side I choose is myself? And I think that's the side many people need to start choosing and stop identifying as certain groups. Because honestly, when you put it like that, the only real solution to me is destroy the other side. That's the only real solution. My side versus your side. Look at all the sports. I want to win. I got to beat you. I got to beat you. I got to beat you. That's what sides do. Sides, I think they've done, and I'm not talking about total cooperation or any of that stuff. I just think we have to start looking past this stuff and start taking the side of what we all actually are and not what we all actually believe in. Because if we actually took the side of what we all actually are, I'd rather take the American side. I'd rather be America versus the other people. And we, at least on this side, are not fighting against each other. We're not fighting amongst ourselves. We're not running to one side or the other because that's where we think we have to be. I don't want to. I want to choose the side of America. And I think we need to start thinking about the side of America, especially these leaders, especially these people that are in powerful positions. Because we have a situation where social media is fucking the minds of these kids. And not even the kids, the adults. And they know how to take advantage of it. They know how to manipulate it. And if we don't get a grip on pushing people towards the hate through algorithm, we are going to have a very, 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 very big problem coming up. Last couple of questions, and I'm gonna hop off because I feel like I'm beating this to fucking death. Picking sides is Darwinism. The strongest will be the victor. Coach Paris says, "Oh well, it's a bit irrational. Truth is not debatable. We all have opinions. What is fucking truth? So like, I call myself the Caltrop, and I think I bring you truth, but really, do I? I bring you the truth the way I see it, the way I saw that event is my truthful take. Now that's kind of my opinion. When you see something on the news, how do you know it's truth? And then once you tell somebody are they going to believe you? And then once they tell somebody else, does it still be main truth, even though they might change it a little bit? I don't know, man. I listen. I get it. There's true. I think there's facts, and then there's opinions. I think there's a lot of facts that go out there, and I think defining truth is like defining good, defining what a truth is and what non-truth is. Again, I wish it wasn't all subjective, Patterson, as it actually is. Everyone picks sides and always has from the beginning of life. My side is right. Boondock Guy says Earth is flat equals truth. I think you're out of your fucking mind. PT Pod says there's no absolute truth. I disagree. Okay, I guess we're getting back into. I gotta scroll back a little. PT Pod says a basic moral structure, even if given to us by religion, is better than no morals. Well, once again, I think moral structure depends on what your morals are. What about the cannibal tribe who thinks that they need to kill humans and eat them in order to satisfy their god? Their morals say that human tastes good. I want ass meat. And then I guess if you have a bigger ass, then you're going to be the first one that's targeted by. You get where I'm going? It's very interesting. Coach Paris says they have no idea about a clue. Okay, I've already gotten back to that. So listen, I think the moral of the story here today, and I'll wrap it up a little bit early for you. I think the moral of the story that I'm trying to wrap my head around, and I appreciate every single one of you guys in the comments. I think, when we talk about getting out of this and what do we do from here, that's what I'm trying to figure out for everybody. What do we do from here? And I think the only thing that you could actually do is do what we've been doing, that everybody that has watched this show. You have to honestly just worry about your fucking self. It sounds horrible, but I think we need to start changing we's to I's. The person is good. When it's one-on-one and you talk and you're with a person is good. Take that same person, you put them in a bunch of we's and put them in a group, and all of a sudden it becomes toxic somehow. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. But I think the only solution is I, not we. I have to be better. Change the fucking we. How about I make myself the best I could possibly make myself? How about I develop the skills that I want to develop to get the job I want, and not just forcing everybody to pay me more by crying? How about I deliver myself to what I want? You want to be like Charlie Kirk? Great. Don't say I am Charlie Kirk. Say your name and then actually go live like him. Mean it. Do it for I. Don't do it for Charlie. Do it for yourself. Do it for you. And if all the I's took care of themselves, the we doesn't fucking matter anymore. Who cares about the we? You have the I. We're focused on all the wrong things. That one individual was the piece of shit. This one individual is going to try to make himself the best version of I that I possibly can, so I am the best for we. That's a team concept. You learn that when you play the game. Baseball is a very, very, very lonely sport when you're up in that box by yourself. It's an I game right there. But I have to do my job. I have to be the best I could possibly be for the we that are sitting in the dugout that are depending on me. So once again, I want to look at everybody, and I want to say this with as clear as I possibly can. Be careful on who you're going to be following. And be careful who you give your money to. Because just buying that Charlie Kirk shirt from the person that's selling it on Amazon, you're not doing anything. Go buy it right from their site, Turning Point USA. Go to them and give them your money if that's what you want to do. Beware of the false prophets. Beware of the people that are going to eventually make a mockery out of Charlie's name. Beware of the politicians that are going to use his name for their own advantage. And follow the people, if you ask me, that have not used this as an opportunity to make themselves better, to make themselves richer. Sorry, better was the wrong word. Or maybe better for the wrong reasons. Money and clout and fame and views and clicks. Because one thing I hope that does come out of all of this is the one message of, how about we get back to some of the things that he was talking about instead of being focused on the clicks and the likes and the garbage that comes with all the social media that we're seeing today. I really think in the end, it's not going to be about far left, far right, whatever it is. I think that might be a motivator, the far left stuff with this kid. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a kid who's dying for attention and somehow had some type of mental disorder. And he went out to do something that he thought he would be remembered by, and he thought he would become an instant celebrity by, and he wanted to be somebody. And he knew that his actions were going to elicit all of this. He's the doer of all of this, all the vigils, all of it in his mind. And I hope we don't glorify that behavior to where we get so much more of it. Listen, guys, I've been saying this a lot for you. Really appreciate everybody that's been with me. I am, after today, I promise you this, I'm going to take my mind, and it's not going to go off of it because I'm never going to forget this, but I have to move on from it in my mind. I'm going to continue to analyze the politics and all that stuff, but I got to try getting past watching blood pour out of a man. I have to try getting past seeing it happen. I have to get past really micro-analyzing a lot of the things that I'm seeing. And I do have to just hope that what comes out of this is good and not evil. And I hope a lot of us make the right decision. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate every single one of you guys that have been through this whole 56 minutes. I don't know how I did this long. Jay Callis says Joni loves Chachi and Chachi loves Joni. And he says, I give my money to my wife so she could spend it on her grandkids. Yeah, I mean, Coach Patterson says a lot. Let's focus on a little bit of baseball. Let's get back to watching a little bit of baseball. But the truth of the matter is, guys, this only does change when you become more involved. So I hope this isn't a one and done. I hope when the 5-year-old girl that was murdered in Chicago, I hope she gets a candlelight vigil. I hope we start giving a shit about the 100,000 or a million, whatever the hell you want to say, aborted babies a year. I hope we start caring about life. And I hope all these people get their own vigils. Because life is life, man. We have to start caring about it at some point in time. You want to be a cow chop, you want to support me, honestly, figure my like button, share this, but start thinking. Start asking questions, start asking hard questions. Even if it challenges your own belief structure. It's the best thing you could do for yourself. Challenge yourself. Be the best version of yourself. Be a cow chop. Thank you guys very much for joining me today, man. Sorry I was like this, but I promise you Wednesday we'll get back to regularly scheduled broadcast if we possibly can. So thank you very much. This cow chop is out. Later.